Welcome to Veterans in Politics Canada. We're out and about. I'm at the Gentleman Expo, sitting here with the co-founder, Sete. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this.
Pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Gentleman Expo, it seems like it showcases everything about a gentleman. Could you briefly describe why you started this expo?
Well, the reason we started it, I think, was from a perspective of looking at what we really liked to do and finding that there wasn't a whole lot for us to do. So we wanted to put together something that was a cross-section of a variety of different categories, whether it be, your beverage alcohol or your fashion or your sports or music, technology, cars, and everything in between. I mean, the way we like to describe it is like a GQ magazine brought to life. And I think that from the demographic that we're going after, that really hits the point.
I noticed that some of the exhibitors, you have Warner Brothers here, you have Jack Daniels, you have Samuel Adams. What are some other exhibitors here?
We've got a shoptsn.ca pavilion, which is a 5,000 square foot sports bar that they created, so you can watch any sport that you'd want at any given point in time. We've got a Newegg pavilion, which is a consumer technology pavilion, so they have everything tech related. We've even built a vintage arcade with them, so you can play all the games that a lot of us grew up with, whether it be Duck Hunt or Mario Brothers or Pong or whatever it may be. They have those available. We've got a sound stage that we're doing with 102.1 The Edge. We've got 11 different bands playing throughout the weekend. We had George St. Pierre here on the Saturday doing meet and greet interviews, autograph signings. So there's really no shortage of great things to do at the Gentleman's Expo.
What the one reason you found that made you want to form this expo here to showcase stuff?
There's not really one particular reason. I think it's a question of, well, if you want the honest truth, I think a lot of us got sort of sick and tired of being pigeonholed as the dumb doofus dad and saying that guys are usually dumb and educated and uncivilized. So we wanted to put together something that showcased the best that men have to offer. And I think that we've achieved that this year.
You truly have. Also, you were telling me just before the interview that your grandfather served in World War II. He probably shared a story with you. You mentioned also that he was a POW.
Yes, that's right. My grandfather was Italian background. He fought for the Allies, not the Nazis. So he was a POW in Germany a few times, and he would tell us stories about the war and how he was in these POW camps sort of peeling potatoes for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. As he got a little older in life, sort of dementia hit in a bit, and he would wake up with night terrors of being on the battlefield, which is a little bit difficult to see. But I'm very proud of him and everything that he's done, and the time that he served. So it's because of, I guess, you and men like him and all of the veterans that we get to enjoy the freedoms that we have, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows that we don't take that for granted. At least I don't, and that's why I'm grateful that you came, and I wanted to thank you personally for all the things that you and all of the veterans have been able to do to afford us the life that we have.
So you have one of your exhibitors here is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. He served 3 tours over in Iraq, and he's a musician.
That's right. He was on America's Got Talent this year. His name is Smoothini. So he's of Dominican. He's from the Dominican Republic. Grew up in Manhattan, and served in the Marine Corps for a number of years. While he was in the Marines, he while he was a kid, he developed a love for magic, but I think he sort of continued to do it while he was in the Marines, and when he got out, he sort of dedicated himself to it, and I actually watched his audition on America's Got Talent, and as soon as I saw him and I heard his story, I'm like, I want that guy. So while I was watching it, I'm literally on my phone trying to find out who this guy is and his phone number, and I'm texting him while I'm watching his audition. I said, I need you to do my show. And we finally were able to connect, and I'm very happy to say that we were able to get him down. His real name's Thomas De La Cruz, but he goes by the name Smoothini, and he's been a huge hit for the show, and I'm really happy to have brought him out, and I think everybody really enjoyed him and his story and his magic. So And I mean, as an added bonus, the fact that he served is just great for me. So I'm always happy to support the veterans of Canada, the U.S., and anyone.
Your website, real quick.
Gentlemen'sExpo.com.
Next year, are you planning something even bigger than this year? I know it's 100,000 square feet that you occupied this year with the Gentlemen Expo.
We're always planning for bigger and better. What we always like to do is go back to all of our attendees, all of the exhibitors, and really get solid feedback on what they liked, what they didn't like, and always try to make the next year's show bigger and better than it was the year before. I think that's the real key to success, right? As soon as you sort of start patting yourself on the back and saying, "Yep, I hit it, and I'm where I'm supposed to be," that's the minute you're not where you're supposed to be. So we try to stay as humble as we can and appreciative as we can, and always try to take the constructive feedback to make the show as big and better as we possibly can.
One thing I'm very big about is multiculturalism. As I was walking through your different exhibitors here today, I noticed that you had East Indian food, you had Sam Adams, you had whiskey, you had all these different selections. You're incorporating so much of the multicultural society. Next year, can you see yourself incorporating even more, maybe Middle Eastern food or Asian food, something like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was just doing an interview before this, and they asked me a similar question in terms of, why did you choose Toronto? And I said, it's such a multicultural city and a melting pot of so many great cultures and tastes and backgrounds that I think it spoils us really in getting exposed to so many different things. And I never try to, again, take that for granted. So for us, absolutely, we always want to try to bring on as many different cultures and backgrounds and tastes and preferences that we possibly can to really make the show as well-rounded as we possibly can as well. I mean, one of our celebrity chefs on the stage right now is Vikram Vij. I mean, he's a great chef out of Vancouver, predominantly on the Southeast Asian and Indian food side, but he's also one of the new dragons on Dragon's Den. So we had him judging a pitch contest, and now he's on the main stage teaching people how to cook a great curry. I mean, that's the sort of stuff that you can expect at the Gentlemen's Expo. Just a ton of amazing exhibitors and talent and experiences that you wouldn't get anywhere else. And like I've always said, it doesn't matter what background you have, you're going to find something that you love here, and you're always going to find an event that has open arms, waiting for you to come in. And we try to be as gentlemanly as possible to everybody that wants to come. So if you weren't able to make it out this year, I hope you're able to make it out next year. I can guarantee you it'll be the best weekend you have all year.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming.